All right, good morning. Another morning drive, and it is on FSD 12.6.3. Currently, some ice dropping down, I guess you want to call it ice slash snow. We have in our monitor here that FSD may be degraded due to the weather. So we'll see how things will be handled with that. Super cold this morning in Dallas DFW area. It We had what they're calling an Arctic chill come in over the night. So yeah, it's I think with wind chilled, it's in the negatives, -4, -5. So for those that aren't aware of Dallas being cold, it it definitely is hot in spring, summer, fall, but it is also definitely super cold. So we are going to see how FSD handles itself with some snowfall. All right, so here we go. First turn, making this left. It's a good left turn. No issues with that. And so again, it's definitely snow. So for the folks that are viewing, it may not seem like it is, but it is definitely falling. And so this will be one of my first times with significant amount of snowfall and letting FSD do its thing. So the weather indicator went off. It's still telling me to pay attention. So I think that's kind of a part of what could potentially come up one, if not several times during this trip. It's just because of the weather. It's, what do you do? So I don't have any hats on. I have my reading glasses on, so nothing really blocking my vision. It's just the weather, and with how cold it is, yeah, it's just not gonna let me do it. I'll take a break for a bit, see if we can re-engage, but it may not let us. Do our thing. We'll try again here. No. So there we have it, y'all. This is not the most ideal time to utilize FSD. Yeah, the weather's just not working with this. It's a little bit more clear on this side of town, so we'll see if we're doing any better here. And so up until this point, I can't really call any of the disengagements a critical disengagement, more so than it is due to the weather. Again, when we started the video, we got the warning about the weather, so that's something, keeping that in mind. I really don't expect too much from FSD in conditions like this. I think this is definitely a situation. I need some more time to work through that. Now, again, I'm speaking too from a perspective of being in North Texas, where it does get cold and it does, snow, maybe once, twice a year, but it's far and few versus uh, other areas that do experience snow and snowfall consistently. Your experience may be different, which, I'd love to hear about in the comments, but it seems like we're doing a bit better on this side, so we'll continue to ride it out. And obviously, if I need to disengage because it's not picking up my eyes or whatever the case may be, we'll do it and cut the video short. But again, so far so good. This 12.6.3 build's been good to me. I haven't had any super major issues or complaints, any call outs like that. So yeah, right now it's just still cold, but it's super windy. Last night into the morning, it's 20 to 30 degree winds, and it's so with that, it's blowing snow and ice from wherever into our area here. And for North Texas, it's super flat. It's flat, so there's really no hills, no mountains, and so this stuff can travel from, heck, Oklahoma, potentially, the panhandle of Texas. So it was raining a bit yesterday, but yeah, today's completely different. So now the full self-driving maybe degraded sign is back up, as it's now, we're back into a portion of snowfall. So again, I'm not going to risk strikes or anything like that. If I do need to disengage, it's not picking me up, I'll end the video here and we'll pick back up when weather's a bit better. But was just curious to see how it handles things in these, this type of unique weather here. So all right, back at it, and just really at that light. The weather's changed again significantly, so the signs back on for poor weather, and yeah, we'll ride it out. Again, this is a typical route I take, so definitely familiar with the route. It's just with the weather the way it is, the snowfall along with the wind and the ice. There's a lot of variables in play, and so definitely lenient on what happens between now and the end of the trip. If we can't get to a point and take some roundabouts, I will redirect the route. Right now we're in a straight path. But it'd be nice to see how our other typical routes are being handled on 12.6.3 with the weather the way it is. The other thing to be mindful for is there are bridges here. They can, turn into ice, which is something we don't want and don't want to have to put FSD or the vehicle through. So, and right on cue, you see the our sign here, caution bridge may ice. So, being aware of that. Folks are trying to move around this vehicle here. I don't mind staying behind them. Bridge seems okay, so that's good. It may be a different story later on this afternoon. Went through this light. What I want to do is try and redirect us a bit. We'll end up going this way and that way. So get some roundabout action here. So again, this is an area that, the highway itself, it's a large amount of construction. So the turning is crucial in how that's handled. The space along with the turning to account for these dividers and cones and things of that nature. Okay. Comes our left turn. Good spacing from that initial cone that was, protruding out a bit. Real nice, confident turn. So that was great. Again, the weather and the wind starting to pick up a bit here. We are getting some grace with some morning traffic, some, school traffic, things like that. See this person walking, I don't know why. It's no point, go home. So yeah, coming through one of our regular paths here. Speed-wise, we're doing great, 38 and the 35. We have our first roundabout here coming up. Keeping in mind, kids, children, they do cross over here. So if I need to take over, I will. I'm not even sure if school's in or not, or if they closed it. So we're yielding, which is great. We're continuing to yield. Typically when I take this roundabout, there's not that much traffic, but today there is. So we've yielded. That turn signal is on once again. All good though. And we're back at it. We have the speed limit indicator here. So few few notches below the speed limit, which is great. Okay. Let's continue to work our way around. And we'll be approaching the second roundabout here. There we go. This person decided to just go. Okay, so great poise with FSD. They, didn't really affect us, even though it wasn't their turn there. There was no hesitation either. Typically in previous builds, I would totally see FSD braking or, making an erratic action for that vehicle kind of darting out in front of us, but it did no such thing. So that is a large improvement as well. Okay. Coming to a full stop before continuing, which is great. And we're going to take this left turn, or this left-hand lane, ride it out for a bit. So overall, this was a great ride. I think the initial disengagements in the beginning could have possibly been due to FSD just trying to find his bearings, saying, "Hey, what's going on?" This usually doesn't happen out here, and with us driving, this isn't typical weather at all of what is the norm. So giving it that grace, really no issues, no critical disengagements. I didn't have to nudge the vehicle at any time for it to accelerate or do anything like that. Speed was on par. So weather permitting, this was a great trip. So for those viewing, appreciate it. Definitely continue to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll continue to post more videos and highlight certain things that I see, and we will go from there. I'll get us through this four-way intersection here, just so we can see that, because the snow/ice is starting to pick up a bit, but parents are dropping kids off at the school. We saw the light indicator on, so there we go, our turn, and voila. So once again, appreciate the and so here's another thing, is these reflectors. The reflectors, I have to disengage. So the reflectors are just not it's not a thing. Reflectors on ground being hit, that's still a problem for me. But outside of that, great drive overall, no major issues. So I'll report back on the next one. All right. Thank you.